Well, 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 well. Welcome back, everyone. Today's part 3 of the painting the miniature Kirby. Last we left off, we gave him a Agrax Earthshade wash, and we let that dry overnight. This is what we came up with. Not too bad, huh? There's a few places he came out a little too dark. See, in the back here. Came out a little too dark. And that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to now brighten him back up. We need this definition around his face to be more pop. So basically we're going to go back over with the Kislev flesh and the pink that we had from folk art. This is going to be on his face. This is basically going to be on the rest of his body. And then we're going to touch up his lips with a little bit more red. We're then going to go back over his eyes with a little bit more of the white, because you can kind of see they're kind of browned a little bit. And then we're going to do the base in black. This is like a Mondo color because I use black for almost everything. This is what I was looking for the other day, and it turns out that it was in the other room, so that's why I didn't find it. Yeah, we'll be using that for the base, and if the pupils need it, we'll be using it there. So, let's get into it, huh? What we will need is still the same. We got our platter here. We got our 2 solo cups of water for our 2-part cleaning. But we probably won't be using water for the Kislev flesh or the pink, because these are both going to be dry brushes, and this is where we're going to start off. And also, I brought myself a paper towel, because this time we will want to be using the absolute dry brush, not just a partial dry brush like we were using before. And I'll show you here on how we do this. So give the flesh a decent shake, because we gotta use this. Pop it open. So what we want to do is we're going to start off with this another. I think I got this one from Michaels. It was either from Michaels or Hobby Lobby, I don't know. But it's a number 4 flat brush. And this is what we're going to be using as our dry brush. So we're going to take some paint. Here, let me show you here. I'm going to take some paint out of our lid here. Alright. So we have some paint here. Got some paint. But we're going to, down here, we're going to wipe it all off. You can kind of see this. See that? And then what we're looking for here is, you see how we can barely see that coloration there? That's what we're looking for. Then we'll just come back over here and we'll hit all the spots. We want to bring them back up to that nice creamy color. And yeah, really get in it, because this guy should be totally dry by now, so really get in there with that Kislev flesh. Again, try to avoid all those areas that we were talking about last time. And then it's when you're out, when you don't see a whole lot of action, remember, we go back, wipe most of it off, and remember, start somewhere where we won't really see. So we can start on the back here. So we'll see how that's way too much, but that's okay, because again, it's on his feet, so we really don't care. But yeah, we want to really hit all this home here. So, oh my, here we go. But yeah, just really drill it in here. Oops. There we go. Yeah, so what we're doing, again, what we're trying to do here, we're just trying to brighten them up. You can see that in the back here, we brightened up his feet a bit. And we're just going to continue doing that. Going back for more paint. And then making sure most of it is off. We start off with light strokes. And we progressively get bigger strokes, longer strokes. And then we just keep going over the entire body with this. So if in the beginning, when we were putting on the thin layers of paint, the very beginning, the reason why we did those thin layers is because right now, what we'll start to see is we'll start to see those layers pop out. You can see where deep down in there you can see those little indents, and that's where they were initially. So yeah, we're just going to go over this entire guy here with the dry brush. Just back and forth. Getting some paint, wiping most of it off, making sure that the paint actually gets in there too. We want a lot of paint. And all the nooks and crannies of the bristles. That way when we're doing this, when we're digging deep and brushing hard, we're getting it actually on the actual model itself. Again, it's quite early here at the homestead. I hope everyone is having a good time. I think it is, no, I don't have a clock around here, but I think it's around 3:30 a.m. my time. So, I mean, anybody watching this in the a.m., good morning to you as well. I don't want to say I get most of my work done in the a.m., but it's a nice time to, relax and get everything that I kind of want. Look at that. Look at that coloration on there, though. It's really starting to pop. You can still kind of see some places of the 3D printer, like right there and right there. I mean, you're not going to be able to get around those. You can try to sand that down all you want, but eventually, it's just not gonna happen. I think overall this guy's looking pretty good. He's looking pretty good. We're gonna keep going. We're not done yet. So I'm just gonna continue doing this step, putting on multiple layers, and we'll be back. We'll be back when I have all that done, and I'll show you what he looks like. And we're back. So you can see here I have him totally covered now in the, or I should say I have him totally in the color that I want him to be. So he's good enough for now. This is what my paper towel looks like right now. But next we're going to move on to the pink. I'm going to give this a good shake. We're going to put some of the shake on, We're going to put some of the color. Put some of that on our platter. I'll probably put too much on here, but it is what it is. Haven't cleaned my brush at all. It's still nice and dry, and we're going to put that right on his face. So we're going to do the same technique. We're going to put some on there, wipe most of it off. Now the reason why we didn't clean off our brush, the reason is we want that other fleshy color to mix with this one. And then slowly what will happen is it will dissipate, and then we'll get the strong pink. And it gives us a natural flow between the two colors. So we don't have to blend them because it's automatically blending on the face itself. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started on this. We'll start up here at the brow and slowly work our way down. We're trying to stay away from there we go. We're just slowly getting on here. Yeah, this is giving his face much more definition. You can see that. We want his face to stick out some. Having his face stick out some gives him a little bit more of a, I don't know, it just gives him a little bit more character, you know what I mean? Okay, we're gonna, oh, that's probably a little too much. Remember, we don't want a whole lot on here. We can always put on more, but we can't take any off. At this step, dry brushing, it's pretty much permanent. And so if you don't like it, you're going to have to either come back with a darker color, cover it up, try it again. So be very careful with this step. But remember that, you know, it's all a learning process. So if you add too much or whatever, just try it again. Try it again. Yep, we're just putting all this on here, slowly going around. Put in this pink, very pink color all the way around. And with it being a dry brush, we're not putting a whole lot on here, right? It's just, it's slowly building up his face. Look at that. See, it's slowly building up his face, but not adding too much. Hold on. There we go. Now we are getting some on his lips, but that's all right. Let's just add a little bit more, I think. We're almost there. We're almost to a point where I think I'm going to like it. Wipe most of it off, and we're going to go back to this brow up here. Just want a little more up here, I think. Want some around those edges. Still want some more on those cheekies on his chin. So, also, I should probably bring up, everybody has their own color palette, right? Everybody has their own preferred, how they want things to look. So, like, if I grab one of my previous paint jobs up here, let's grab this guy. I have come on now, focus in that, there we go. I have a darker theme. I like my paint jobs to be dark. I like them to be gritty. I like them to be, you know, used and all that kind of stuff. Here's another one right here. So that's how I like painting mine. I'm not really a, you know, colorful painter. There are some great colorful painters out there, but I like all my stuff to be grungy. So this is how we're going to go with this guy. But next, we're going to clean off this brush, this dry brush. Now, make sure you clean this with like soap. There's some regular, you know, dish soap or whatever, because we don't want all those particles to get up into here. It'll break and damage the brush. So we're going to wash it out for now, but I'm going to come back to this thing later and really clean out those bristles. I'll probably do it after the video. And also, when you dry it, fan it out like this, but also put it upside down. Put a little sticky tack on your table, and just stick it onto there like that. It'll hold it upside down. Dry it off. And unless you have a paint holder, and then just put it in that. Okay, but we're off to the eyes now, or we'll do the lips first. So we're going back to the red. We'll put a little bit of that back into our paint, our little mixing pot here. Just a little dab. Remember, a small dab. We don't need much. And we're still using this brush right here, the Zero Reaper brush. Still using that. going into our clean water. Alright, here we go. This is where it gets a little tricky. I also have to take off my glasses because this is so tiny. So we got water over here. Actually, I'm going to put my water closer, I think. So now the reason why we're doing this is because the wash and then the dry brush kind of dulled everything down. If we zoom in here a bit, it kind of dulled everything down. So we need to bring that back up. So what we're going to do is we're just going to touch this again. Don't be afraid to go back for more paint. Also, surprisingly, when you're trying to paint something, the best thing that you could do is hold your breath. That's what they do for when you shoot arrows and stuff like that, and it works basically the same way. Get some more water here. Basically the same way when painting. Focus. Focus. Looking up the guy's nostril. I'm sure he's real happy with that. Oh, that's a lot of paint. Alright, see how much paint we got there? Oh, focus. Maybe. Oh well. Alright, so we'll go ahead and just kind of touch those lips there. There we go. There's his lips. Now, when you're really close like this, you can definitely see the errors. But you know what? When you're far away, whoop, whoop, they look pretty good. Lips look pretty good. Now, we're going to use the same brush. Same brush, same number 4. Wash it off pretty... Oop. Wash it off pretty good in our double cleaning method. And then now we're moving over to the white. Give it a good little shake. Give us just a small dollop. And then we're going to move over to the eyes. Let me zoom in here again. Now the reason why we did put the white down and not did it afterwards like we're doing now is because what that did is now I don't have to do the whole eye again. I just have to do some areas just to bring that white back up. Like this. We're just trying to catch it back up, you know. Got a little too much paint on there. Oops. Look at that. See how I accidentally touched that? So what we gotta do is I cleaned off my paintbrush, and we're just gonna wash that off. Look at that. See that? It's gone. Wasn't even there. So yeah, you just when you do something like that, clean off your brush, put a little bit of water on there, give her a little scrub. Good as new. Okay. This might be still too much paint. You can see how shaky I am. So we're trying to get the best angle that we possibly can here. I just want to get that little bitty crack in there. You see that? Just a little. Yeah, just like that. There. Now the eye looks like it's more complete. To me, anyway. There. Now we don't have to worry about the other sides or anything like that because it still has kind of a white tint to it anyway. So we're going to wash off our brush again, make sure it's moist. It was starting to get a little non-moist there. You can kind of see how it's chalking up. We want to try to avoid that as much as possible. And look at the two eyes now. You can see the color variation in the two. Hold on. I got a string on my brush. There we go. Alright, so let's finish this up real quick. I think I added too much water this time. Which is okay. Gonna use some of that water to smooth this one out a bit, I think. There. Look at that. Very nice. Touch that right there. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so the last step that we need to do is that base. The best part, I'm giving this black a good shake here. I don't think I used it in quite a while. Gonna dump all the black on there. We'll probably need a good bit of black here because it's a pretty big base. And the brush that we will be using for the base is back to this round brush that we used in the very, very beginning. The 5 round brush. We're going to go back to this one. Now we're going in to get some water. I'll put that over there. Bring the water closer. Get some nice on there, and then here we go. I like to start from the back like this, and then slowly work my way forward, kind of like this. So up here, I get most of the black down. Now, if you notice, I'm just kind of pushing my brush in there. I'm letting the paint do all the work for me. Now this, even though this is black doesn't take a whole lot to cover colors up. I mean, it's kind of the whole deal here. It's kind of the whole deal. But what we'll do is we'll put this whole black all over this base, and then that's what I'll come back here in a minute. And we're back. And we let it dry. I let it dry for, I don't know, probably about 10-15 minutes, I think. But there it is. We have now finished the miniature. Totally done. The one last thing that you should probably do is put a coat of clear gloss on it. This is Rust-Oleum's Painted Touch 2x Ultra Cover. This is what we do. After that, give that about, I don't know, a while to dry, probably a couple hours, and then hit it with this matte. That will dull down the gloss a bit if you don't want it to be too glossy. This is the 2-step process that I use on most of my miniatures to make sure that the paint doesn't chip or stuff like that. The gloss coat will give it a nice good seal for protection. The matte will dull it down. The matte doesn't really give it a whole lot of protection, but yeah, that's that's the miniature. What I'll do is I'll put on some glamour shots after this little video here, so you can kind of see, you know, what was the final product? What did we work up to, and how does it look? Till next time, I'll see you all later. Peace